timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl! Brady has his fifth! 13! 13! Can you believe it?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Locker Room Podcast. I'm your host, Oliver, joined by our mystery man, Sharpie.
How are you?
I'm surprised I keep remembering your nickname, to be honest. I was thinking of it. I was trying to remember it as I was going along. But as there's only 1 week left in the NBA, we're going to go through we're not going to go through all three teams. Whether you did the notes for all three teams, I don't know. But we'll just go through our first teams for all NBA, all defense, and all rookie. We'll start at all NBA first. So the layout is 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. So we'll start at obviously the guards. Who do you think the 2 guards are that make it?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't put Curry there because he hasn't played many games. I'd probably go Harden.
Harden.
Yeah, I reckon. He's missed a few games as well, but he's done well. And DeRozan, if you're going to class him as a guard? He's been playing a lot at the forward.
You're forgetting Jar.
Yeah. So actually, you know what? I'm going to put Jar there as well. Actually.
Did you forget about him, or you just didn't think he was?
Yeah, I completely forgot. That is so bad for me.
I was like, wait, is he doesn't think he's in there, or if he's just completely forgot?
Well, yeah, I completely forgot. That is my bad. I was writing down my notes for the other team. I completely forgot. So Jar and DeRozan. Take Harden out.
So I have Jar and Doncic, because I'm a big Doncic fan. I guess. What's your? I feel like it's a hard argument between them two because obviously they both help their teams, and when DeRozan was out, they absolutely sucked. But it's
weird because when Jar's out, their team still does well, and they're a lot better offensively. So.
They're number 1 defense and number 1 offense when he's not playing, which is ridiculous. That's why he's not the MVP. But I'll give it. Because we're going to do a combined. We'll do a combined one, so it makes it. I'll give it DeRozan because he's never going to make it back in here again, I don't think. And Doncic is going to make. I dare say he'll make future teams. 2 forwards. Who have you got?
Giannis, obviously.
Yep, that's the one that I have as well. I mean, you can't go past it.
I would have put Jimmy in there, but he kept missing games.
Oh, you hate Jimmy though.
Yeah, absolutely hate him.
Oh, you just love him shooting 1 of 9 from 3 against you, or from the field, or whatever he did. He choked against the Knicks.
Absolute spastic. And a bit of an outsider, Tatum.
Oh, that's exactly who I had. When you said outside, I'm like, oh, he's gonna go friggin' Levine or.
No.
Who else would you? Because I've got Tatum as well.
It depends on whether you class, because obviously it's going to be Jokic and Embiid in the first team.
Well, that's the thing. You can't. I went over who was it? They were discussing it with like Zach Lowe or someone, and the rules are so. Say Jokic gets the most first place, most center votes, and Embiid gets more center votes than he does power forward votes or forward votes. Embiid can't make the team because he's got too many center votes and they take the priority one. So it's more than likely going to have to be one or the other, which I think is kind of stupid when both of them should obviously be in there.
Yeah, there's 2 of them are going to be like the top 2 MVP votes. So.
But if you had to like put another small forward in there or a power forward, who do you really have anyone off the top of your head that you reckon you'd put in there? Because I'm just trying to think now.
KD.
Yeah, maybe. KD, obviously. Yeah. Oh, geez, I completely forgot about him too. I'm not even really.
Bit out of it.
Yeah, I don't even know who any other good like forwards that have had really good
You
seasons,
could
to
you
be
could
honest.
put you could put LeBron in there,
Yeah,
but I feel like he would be second team.
yeah. He will make a team. I mean, it's LeBron and there's
Oh,
two
well,
forward spots.
you can't
Yeah,
not
and
have him, especially after this season.
he's probably he's gonna win the scoring title, you would think.
Yeah.
Now down to center, I'm presuming you want to put Embiid.
Yeah, but I feel more ever since Harden joined the team, I've gone
Mm.
more towards Jokic
Yeah,
because he's not doing as much. But like Jokic is the way he's playing,
yeah.
especially like over the last 25 games. You've got to put Jokic in there, so I'm going to go with Jokic.
That last game he had was just
Oh,
unreal.
ridiculous.
26, 19, and 12 or something. But
Those are 2K numbers right there.
yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Oh, you're big sexy.
Yeah, what a man he is.
Quick question. Do you think since like Embiid's last two games against the other two MVP candidates, he's played well, but they've lost. Do you reckon that has an effect on any of the MVP voting, or do you feel like it's if they've decided they're not going to get their minds changed by a couple games here and there?
Yeah, probably. I think they're not really going to change much.
Yeah. So this is by the way, this is our prediction. So we'll see how right we are. So we have guards, Jar and DeRozan, forwards are Tatum and Giannis, and center is Jokic. So I don't really see anyone missing out. DeMar might miss out, but geez, you could replace him with Doncic, Booker, Chris Paul. We didn't even consider Booker.
Yeah, it's another one as well where he's might have missed a couple games.
Yeah.
But
I'll put a hash there.
I would. It's shit because Booker has been playing well. Obviously, look at Phoenix's record. So
it felt like he got a lot of MVP hype just out of nowhere. Like they'd been going about their stuff, and then he all of a sudden on the 5-year anniversary or whatever, his 70-point game, he dropped a 49-point 10 assist game, and then everyone was discussing him about being MVP, and I'm like, where the hell's this all come from? I mean, you can't argue with it, but
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we'll move on to our all defense team. We'll go to the guards again. Who have you got?
I've got Drew Holiday and Mikal Bridges.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put. Is Bridges classed as a guard?
I mean, he plays there. You could also class him as a forward, but
Yeah.
I mean, if I have to replace a guard just for Bridges, I'll take him out and I'll put Derek White in.
Well, I've left one out because I want to discuss it, but I kind of want to make sure of it before I give you the wrong answer. But when I checked last, would you believe take a guess at who's favorite to win the award right now?
Giannis.
I'll give you a couple more guesses.
Is he a guard?
Bam is second. So Bam's second.
Oh, Rudy probably because he's always favorite.
No. Marcus Smart.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
So do you reckon he makes it into the team?
He's probably flown under the radar with that, but that's actually pretty cool that he's got there. He's a great defender.
And as you said, you'd build your team around him.
Exactly. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'd probably put him in there now.
So we're putting Smart instead of who was your first player? You said
Drew Holiday. I'll probably Drew
Holiday. All right, we'll put Smart there. Our forwards. Who we got for forwards? Giannis, I'm guessing.
Giannis.
Yep. I've got one that I really think should be in there, and I'm pretty sure.
Would Bam be classed as one?
I think he's a center though. I feel like he's technically a center just because.
Yeah.
Who else is big on the Heat? Tucker plays power forward for him, but
true. Herb Jones from Pelicans. He's done really well. He's a small forward, so
I've got Jaren Jackson Jr.
I've got him as well. He's my center. Yeah, he's leading the NBA in blocks.
Is he your center?
Yeah,
Jeez.
he is underrated
He's
and
very good.
underappreciated. I
But
think.
but then again, so is Robert Williams.
Yeah, I know. But I'm gonna put Jaron in there.
At forward, will you reckon? So we can open up the center spot for a few others.
So who have I got? Smart.
Bridges, Giannis.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Yeah. JJ Jr.
Triple JR.
So center, who have we got? Are you putting in Mobley or are we going with Bam? Go Bear.
Yeah, I'll just go Bam.
Bam. Bam Bam. As much as we
As
hate
much as
the
I
Heat.
hate Miami and their fans
and Lockie.
and on Twitter, they all suck. Especially they suck because they can't even beat the Knicks.
Hey, the Knicks are still mathematically making it possible to
paying $81 to get in.
Oh, that's chuck a fiver on that. So our all defense team: Marcus Smart, Mikal Bridges, Giannis, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Bam. So I think it's. I would be surprised if more than one of those players is not in the first team. But we'll go to our final one, all rookie. Now, I'm gonna put Cade there because that's obvious.
Yep.
At guard, we're gonna have Scotty Barnes at some forward position, and we're gonna have Mobley at center or forward. What do you think?
Can't really think of any other center.
I'm trying to. I mean, you could have Yurtseven or whatever his name is from the Heat.
Yeah,
but
that's a good shout. Yeah.
I think they would put. I don't know. Would they put him at center just because of his height? Like, even though he hasn't played center there.
You'd expect.
Yeah. We'll put Mobley at center, but if we think of it,
I wouldn't put Yurtseven in though.
Yeah.
For first team.
He's probably the only other rookie center that I can really remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, usually they might just put it forward there.
So there's 2 spots left. I'm pretty sold on my 2 spots, but I want to hear you go first. So your other guard, is it Josh Giddey?
Giddey. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Josh Giddey.
I wanted to make sure you wouldn't say what's his name? Jalen Green, because have you seen him? He's moved up.
He's
above.
shot up. He's shot up.
He's 4th. He's above Franz and Giddey in Rookie of the Year. Like, come on now. Giddey still won every Rookie of the Year, and Franz has been. I feel like he's getting a bit more acknowledgement, at least the second half of this year. And is that who you're going with your forward?
Franz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty easy team. So obviously, is that it's basically the top 6? It's a top 6 picks without Jalen Green.
Yeah, and Suggs, I think. Can't remember where Suggs got drafted.
No, because Giddey was 6 and Franz was. Oh, did
feel like
Franz fall out of the? He fell out.
France
of the
was like 8th, wasn't
Yeah, he was. Sorry, that's my. Geez, I should know better than
Because
that.
I think it went Moody, Franz. Yeah. Franz went 8.
8. Jesus, God, that's a steal and a half for him. But I think that's a pretty. To be honest, out of all those 3 teams, the only one that I might see changing is the All NBA first team because DeMar, Jokic, whether it's Embiid, if they figure a way to get him in there. But
I feel like honorable mentions for the rookie team would probably be like Kuminga, Davion Mitchell.
Kuminga's been very solid the second half of this season.
Yeah, and he spent most of the time in the G League, which at the start I did not expect him to be in there at all. You probably might put Jalen Green in there now, but
there needs to be an all-improved team. Can just put Teo Maladone, Poku, a few Thunder legends. We'll move on to just a few topics in the NBA that's going around. Lakers today lost by, I think it was 20 something in the end, but Doncic nearly had a triple double at halftime. They lost by 28 or something.
18.
Oh, okay. They came back 18. Without LeBron, obviously. They are 11th behind the Spurs now. They're not making the playoffs, play-in, surely.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
And
Even though LeBron and AD, like AD especially, is about to make his 5th comeback for the rest of the season, and I'm sure they'll have a highlights package of how good he was
2 years ago.
whenever. Yep. Shut it down.
My question is, like, we won't go in depth about this, and I know that a lot of comparisons are going to say that it to Jordan and stuff. Does finishing outside the play-in not ruin his legacy, but put degrade it a bit, not degrade it, but tarnish it a bit.
I feel like it's the dickheads around him that are ruining it. But
yeah, like it's his legacy's set in stone, but
yeah,
and LeBron and Michael are arguably going to be 1 and 2 in the GOAT debate no matter what. But I think you're always going to have a Jordan person say that LeBron didn't make the play-in, and then you're always going to have a LeBron player say that Jordan played for the Wizards. But,
yeah. Well, I mean, you could class that Wizards team as what the Lakers team are right now.
But yeah, then that the Jordan people just say they didn't have AD, Westbrook, all these other players, and I feel like that's where LeBron's issue lies. He liked obviously AD. He wanted Westbrook, wanted Taylor Horton Tucker, wanted Malik Monk.
He got rid of all the players he didn't want. He got rid of Kuzma and KCP and all that, and then what happened?
Hope he's not the GM of the Thunder in the future.
Especially with his call when he said that Derek Smith Jr. should have been a Nick and everything, and now look where he is, barely getting a game for Portland.
Oh, it sounds like a Chris Dunn type of story. Both just falling off a cliff. We'll go to a bit better news. The Timberwolves, they're currently in the 7th seed. They're a couple games behind the Nuggets, but they're more than likely going to be in the play-in. Have they surprised you this year, or did you expect them to at least get into the top 6 or make the play-in?
I expected it last season, but yeah, no, they've really shot out. They're obviously not at their full potential yet. I think Cat's starting to enter his prime years, so that's where they need to start going now.
Do you think this team's still built to be around Towns, or do you feel like it should move towards Anthony Edwards yet?
I feel like it was always built around Towns, but
yeah,
Edwards is taken off and he's gone further than what D'Lo is at the moment, which is sad, considering how much hype he had around him.
In Brooklyn, especially, that was...
Yeah, and obviously at the Lakers, but that didn't work out. But yeah, no, I think it's still built around Cat at the moment.
And I don't know how you couldn't, to be honest. Like, he shoots the 3 that well. He's not, I wouldn't say he's a top 2 or 3 center in the league just yet, but he's at least right around there. I mean, Jokic, Embiid, and then Bam, Gobert, him. But I feel like previous years, the Wolves have always just, they've been expected to make the playoffs and then they just disappoint. They find a area where they just lose like 5 or 6 games in a row or go on a losing streak. And I always give shit to one of my mates who's a Timberwolves fan, but it's actually good to see them in at least the play-in at least. I hope they make the playoffs.
Exactly, yeah.
Them versus the Grizzlies would be a pretty good first series. Just seeing one of those teams advance would be good.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to the Grizzlies, who are the 2nd seed and have been playing better without Ja. Do you really think they're a full-on contender at this stage, or do you think they've got to get their playoff experience in and they'll probably go out and say the 2nd round this year and then build again next year?
Yeah, I'd say that. But then again, everyone thought Atlanta were going to get bounced out first round. They ended up making the conference finals. So it could happen.
Yeah,
I think especially with the way teams play defense in the playoffs, and that it'll be a lot harder for maybe Ja to get to where he wants to be. Who knows? Obviously, the caliber of a player that Ja is, you know, he could excel more in the playoffs against harder conditions.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, because obviously the playoffs are a lot more competitive. Well, not competitive, but like a lot more tougher and full on, and the refs don't call as much. But I feel like that would just suit the Grizzlies even more the way they play. They don't really give a shit and they like being rough. Bring back the grit and grind Grizzlies. What do you think the biggest attribute to them has been this year? Whether it's the young players, certain players standing out. What do you think?
Oh, it's definitely you can't go past Jar.
Yeah,
And
I feel
his
like
ability.
it's a bit of the depth as well. But go on.
Yeah, and it's just Jar and his ability. He's awesome to watch. Obviously, Jaren Jackson Jr.'s flown under the radar with his defense. Dylan Brooks as well. Isaiah Williams, both been outstanding, and obviously, your boy Steven Adams.
Yes, what a man! He's a king.
Real solid. He goes unnoticed. What he does is when Jar drives to the paint, he's boxing out the center, so the center doesn't actually get in a position to block it or.
He's basically setting an off-ball screen.
Yeah.
And he's not like at times he can be moving, but it's so like discreet and everything.
And because he's so solid to get around, that's why it's hard.
And what I find interesting at the start of the year, everyone thought like, what the fuck are the Grizzlies doing? Trading away Valanciunas. They're at the time, arguably their joint best player for Steven Adams and I can't remember who's the pick that went to him.
It would have been Dallas's pick, wasn't it? Because they get
this year. Who's on the bench for him this year? I forget his name.
Zaire Williams.
Yeah, for Zaire Williams. And everyone was giving them so much shit. And now they've just gone and done this. I find it.
I mean, they've still got Zaire Williams, but like.
Yeah. No, but like they were giving them crap because they traded up, I think, to get him. Instead of taking him at 18 or whatever they had. I can't remember the exact details, but they were just copying it, and it's quite funny. But if you had to give them a percentage chance to make the finals, what are you giving them?
Probably a 10, maybe. I mean, the West is pretty tough with Phoenix.
I think Phoenix is the only one that you could say 50%, and the rest.
Yeah, I mean, 25. A healthy Warriors team. But I mean, I feel like last year with Phoenix's team, they got experience on the finals and what it's like. So, it'd be tough to get past them, and especially the way they've been playing this year. They've just been knocking off easy. They've been knocking off hard teams like it's nothing.
And they're just so well rounded. Like
exactly.
Cam Johnson, I think he's been sitting out a bit, but like
Monty Williams is 100% winning coach of the year. Like,
he would nearly have to at this stage because
he should have won it last year.
Cavs have dropped off. I mean, Bulls have dropped off. They were the other two candidates. I mean, you could give it to the Grizzlies head coach. He is only six games behind, or only 6 or 7 games. That's a fair bit, but I don't know. It has to be between them two, you would think. Finally, the Jazz, the 5th seed, tied with Nuggets on games, but they have the tiebreaker for 6th. They choked a 20-point lead today to the Clippers, who had Paul George returning. Do you really give them any hope in the playoffs this year? And do you think there'll be a bit of an explosion if they don't make it past a certain round?
I mean, Donovan's already pissed off. Just get up a tweet real quick of what he said. But yeah, he wasn't happy apparently. He was saying he got asked, I can't remember what he got asked about, but he's like, I don't know. It's the same shit. I don't know. And obviously the Knicks fans just gravitated towards that, trying to get him in. But yeah, I don't see him going far. And I do see something blowing up, maybe a potential situation like what happened in Philly. I don't see Donovan Mitchell sitting out, but I see him maybe wanting out.
Yeah. And Gobert's not going to be the one that gets traded. It'll be Mitchell.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like, well, obviously Utah valued Donovan more than Gobert, but Gobert's like a 3 times defensive player of the year. You need, offense starts with defense. So.
And if Donovan's getting pissed off in Utah, is he really going to want to stay?
No.
If he just got rid of Gobert, I don't think Gobert's necessarily his issue. I think it's just the whole team and maybe the organization.
I just think it's stupid that you're still starting Jordan Clarkson off the bench, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool and all that, but yeah, he scores a lot of points off the bench, but he obviously should be starting.
Mm.
Then I don't do the maths and the analytics for that, so
They
I
just
don't know.
they play a weird brand of. They don't. Gobert is such a liability on offense. Like he does so well on defense, obviously, but he can't do jack shit on offense. Like at least you got Steven Adamson's like stuff doing different sort of moves and at least doing something. Gobert only really scores dunks when it's alley-oop to him or something, which is obviously helpful. But
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean, so does Clint Capella. But...
yeah, exactly. I feel like they shouldn't have traded Joe Ingles.
Oh,
Even
man,
though he had an injury.
poor Jingles, man. Like he was
gave his whole to that team, and he
did not get
just
rewarded.
didn't get rewarded. But I mean that Jazz team.
I think I was saying this to someone the other day. I was saying if we get Donovan Mitchell, I'd also like us to bring over Royce O'Neal.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
I like him. The brand of basketball they play is just boring, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's just if Donovan's not on, the whole team's not on.
I mean, it works in the regular season, but that can only get you so far, especially when you're coming up against a team like Phoenix, play pretty fast, but ISO ball, and the Warriors as well. Like you're going to get found out pretty easily.
I mean, they lost a Game 6 series. They lost a series in Game 6 last year against the Clippers without Paul George or Kawhi. That's saying something. But we'll go on to your favorite part of this week. A game called Poeltl, obviously named after Jakob, the king. Now, Sharpie, you're going to have to tell me how this is working because I'm controlling it and I don't want to fuck it up. But
that's fine.
What am I doing here?
Oh, would you click on the X thing?
Okay, I'm clicking
Basically,
the
it's
X.
like Wordle. So I'm assuming so you show the silhouette, and you just have a guess on who that looks like.
Looks like Jeremiah Robinson Earl or Isaiah Roby.
I was thinking more Aaron Gordon, but my first guess in this is always Tony Bradley. So I'll go.
Oh, you're going Tony Bradley.
Tony Bradley, just because it.
Just to make sure, even though he doesn't have that hair.
Okay, so he's small.
He's in the West. Does that mean he's in the West?
Yeah, it means in the West. So maybe try Aaron Gordon.
Oh.
Ooh. Well, he's in the same division as
he's the
JRE.
Oh, wait.
Try JRE.
If it's Jeremiah
number
Robinson
50 as well. It's number 50 as well.
No. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, sure. I've actually never seen what JRE looks like, but I just saw number 50 there and I'm like, hang on a second.
I am a king. I am so glad that's on record.
No, you did this earlier. No.
What a king.
Oh, now I can do mine on my phone. Because I haven't played this thing.
Oh, I wonder who it's going to be.
Oh, what? Robinson Earl?
All right. We'll be doing this every week. Oh, yeah, once every week. Obviously, you can't do it more than once. We might even, I've been thinking about getting maybe a bit of an NBA quiz just to test us each week that we could do. I'll discuss that with you more after, but we'll go to that time of the week. Slugs. Horsey tips. All right, so his first one is Bendigo Race 4, number 7, Remark. His second one's Bendigo Race 7, number 10, Cardigan Queen. And he's each way of the day paying $19. Randwick Race 9, number 21, Banker's Choice. So it's Sam Allen's choice, who's not with us. But
he's alive, but he's
yeah, sadly. which part? But have you got your weekly multi ready? Mine didn't get up last week, I don't think, but
I don't think mine did either. Mine never gets up. But I have a good feeling about this one. I've gone the Knicks to beat Charlotte, the Boston to beat Miami, Phoenix to beat Golden State, Minnesota to beat Toronto, Adelaide to beat Port Adelaide, and Greater Western Sydney to beat Gold Coast, and that is paying $49.
Jesus. we've got a few similar ones in there, but I've got a few different ones. So I got Melbourne to beat Essendon, Port Adelaide to beat Adelaide, Geelong to beat Collingwood, Charlotte to beat the Knicks. So obviously Sharpies two teams there. So they'll probably backfire.
I'll go for Bulldogs, but
Oh yeah, I don't know why I think Collingwood just because.
I just watch them.
Yeah.
That's why.
Wolves to beat the Raptors as well, and Suns to beat the Warriors. So it's 6 legs paying $12.61. I mean, we've all won one, but if you win that, I'll give you major props because there's a lot of legs that are different to mine in there. We'll go to the footy. And have you been watching more football this season, or is it just me that have been thinking you have?
I've watched a few games. I mainly just sit there and just watch it. But I watched Collingwood on the weekend. I watched Bulldogs obviously against Carlton, which that was not that fun to watch. I watched Freo play. I basically just watch teams if I know who's in them. But Collingwood I was just watching with my dad, so
yeah,
just sort of watch it.
And
obviously I watched Sydney versus Geelong.
Yeah, well, obviously we'll get to that. Well, we will, but I didn't even write that down actually. What impressed you other than the buddy? Last week I did it just teams, but in this stage we'll just go players, teams, whatever you want. What impressed you from the weekend, or what player?
Player wise, I like Jack Crisp from Collingwood. I reckon he's so fun to watch. He
had a bad
so
week
good to watch.
first week, and
he was he went unnoticed a bit. First week, Ollie Henry kicking that goal from the boundary. I thought that was a nice goal. I can't really say much about the Bulldogs because it was pretty sad. But he came close and everything. But to be honest, I'll actually just give it to Carlton there. They've got off to a hot start here for the season.
Ridiculous.
Lossie's doing well. And wait, how could I go a Hawthorn?
Yes, what the hell?
Gee, they are playing some unreal footy.
And we were talking about it with Frizy, who's obviously a Hawk supporter, the other week when they played North. Even though it wasn't the most best opponent, they still looked like they were playing good football. And then sure enough, they come up against Port and absolutely obliterate them.
I've been watching a couple of interviews. I don't know from how long ago, but it was when I think Sam Mitchell was their midfield coach.
Yeah.
And apparently on how he prepares the midfield and everything. It's very interesting. And Sam Mitchell's obviously a great footballer. And now I think with the mentoring from Clarko, I think over the years on how to get his team right and what he's doing now with Hawthorn and that, I think it's been awesome.
It is good. And I know a lot of people hate Hawthorn, but I actually I kind of have a soft spot, but I only like them some sort this year because of Sam Mitchell. I used to like them because of Sam Mitchell when he played and Luke Hodge and that. But there's not many players on that team that I like now. But I'm surprised you didn't name one person that impressed you, which I've got down, which reluctantly I put down. Will Brodie, the local man, had 26 touches for Freo.
He started on the bench as well.
And obviously, they lost, and it's Brayshaw had 40 and a goal or two. But
it was a pretty close game. I mean, it was a pretty scrappy game, really.
It was very scrappy. But he might have. Do you feel like he's maybe found his place there? He's going to get a lot more first-team football than he did at Gold Coast, obviously. But do you reckon it can continue, or might change when Fife and that come back?
It's only been the first 2 games, but I'm hoping to see him in there more. Obviously, he's good to watch and everything when he plays. He had 7 tackles as well.
Yeah.
But, I'm hoping he does play more. It was very, very disappointing. Obviously, I'm not going to fabricate anything, but see how he played footy and to make it to the AFL. It was, it was pretty cool to see him get there, and then to not see him play many games, which was disappointing.
Yeah.
But to see him now getting regular team football is pretty cool.
Now we just need Tom Brown to get a few games under his belt.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to be playing last week.
Hopefully he does. Hopefully with I don't want to wish any injuries or anything, but they got their
the-
first win in the VFL at least.
Is the debutant that played in round 1 for Richmond? Did he play last week?
Yeah, Gibcus, he played.
Yeah, obviously the Collingwood medalist, Ivan
Soldo, yeah, what a king, 2 goals.
How about
He's
Dan
on track.
Curtis's goal?
Oh, goal of the
Manx
year, give
goal.
it to him. Big square head. He's such a funny looking bloke, but he's a king. All right, we'll go to what disappointed you the last week. Not personally, footy wise. Do you have anything?
Man, Bulldogs mainly.
Oh,
I feel like they would have. I feel
keep
like they
forgetting.
would have bounced back a bit better. But Geelong also. I think obviously they versus Essendon round 1. They're not known to be a
Yeah.
special team.
But to
But-
get blown out, jeez.
But to get, I know they would have had a lot of pressure, and with Buddy and everything, pretty much fed the ball to him the whole game. But it's still disappointing for them to lose, and they're going to try and bounce back against a pretty good Collingwood team this weekend.
I've gone with Dusty. Obviously, you can't be disappointed in what he's done field wise, but just the reports that he might not play again, he might retire, which is
Pretty
very,
sad.
very upsetting as a Richmond supporter. I mean, I hope he comes back, but then again,
The circumstances on
Yeah.
why is you can't.
it's
you can't help
understandable.
that.
You're not going to argue with him leaving football for that.
Yeah, I mean, look at Dane Beams. He did the same.
Yeah, I hope he comes back, but I feel like Richmond just need to be prepared that he's not going to, and and by the sounds of it, Richmond aren't going to push him. You
wouldn't
can't,
Yeah, exactly.
especially when he's. I think Hardwick said the other day he's paid the club 10 times over with what he's done. Anyway, we'll go to Buddy's 1000th. Now, our good mate and our NFL pro that's been on here before, Brad, was at the game. He enjoyed it. He loves the Swannies. He enjoyed it and got a few videos from him. But what a moment. I mean,
Yeah.
we won't say that again, will we?
Not for a while. I mean, the way the game's being played today, you will never see something like that.
I don't see anyone really kicking 100 goals in his season or 1,000 goals in their career for at least the next 50 years.
Maybe Soldo, but
Yeah, or Mason Cox with his 4-eye vision. Once he figures out how to control it,
double the vision, double the skill.
exactly. He's still shit then. But we'll go to the bloke that marked the ball. Now when he first had it, the rumors were he was getting a fair bit of money, but in the end, all he did was give it back, and he got 2 5-year memberships, signed footy boots and jumper, and he got to obviously meet Buddy and hand the ball back. Hypothetically, you put you in this situation, would you take that deal?
Yeah.
Really?
I'd give it back.
That's the thing. Do you know what Tom Brady got for his?
Yeah, you got like 500,000 or something.
And a Bitcoin. I would at least at minimum ask for 50 grand. A minimum, because if you put that ball on eBay, you're getting that, I would say, with ease.
I mean, if you're already telling people who you are and you've got the ball, I mean, you're holding yourself up.
Yeah.
You're holding yourself liable for something to happen. But it's good that he gave it back.
Yeah, good. I mean, he's a better bloke than I am. I would have held out for 100 grand or something. But
I heard that I was watching the thing on the news, and apparently he took an Uber home. He went straight out of there and got an Uber home.
I mean, I can't blame him. Who was going to stick around for that?
I mean, they were all too focused on getting to Buddy anyway, so they wouldn't have noticed.
Would you regret, though, not running on the field because you're never going to get to do that again?
I mean, you can, but you just have to pay a big fine. But
yeah,
I mean, to be part of that moment
would have been
sick, and obviously, Brad got to be part of that, which is awesome. It's cool that one of us at least got to experience something like that, and you can never take that away from anyone, especially because it's never going to happen again.
And especially
But,
to him to happen to his team at least. Like it's
yeah,
not like he's
exactly.
just
Like
gone
that.
and
Yeah.
but
It's not like
yeah.
he's just a Geelong fan that's ran on the ground,
Yeah.
but they've got to experience that anyway
Yeah.
without
Um
kicking the bloody bags of goals in the 90s.
yeah. Um final thing, game of the week. Yeah, you've got you've chosen Collingwood versus Geelong. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take Collingwood here, but
I
I think it'll be a nail biter though, because even
I
though
mm,
Collingwood's been pushed out to like $2.70,
Jesus.
and they're going in as underdogs as a team that's like second on the ladder.
I mean, who have they played first? St Kilda, which I thought they were going to be a lot better, and who they play on the weekend? Adelaide. But
Adelaide.
I think they always relatively have a good game. These two teams.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see the midfield battle because Dangerfield got shut down basically 3/4 of that game, and that's when the Swans killed him. But
Like even like players like Lipinski and that. Like Lipinski's had a hot start to the season,
Lapinky, he is
and
looking good.
obviously Collingwood moved to Goey into the midfield pretty early on.
I'm still not a big fan of him, even though he's in my super coach. But I think that's it for this week. Sharpie, thanks for joining us.
Not too easy.
We will see you next week when we will more than likely be going through our MVP and NBA awards. So since it'll be the last week. Bye.